12-team college football playoff, which I'm not a fan of personally, though I admit there are intriguing, exciting elements to it, most notably home campus playoff games. I like that, but not too much else. If you ever want to debate with me about that, shoot me a note on Twitter. But the schedule goes something like this. You'll have a first-round playoff game on Friday, December 20th on ESPN. And ESPN, remember, is the sole media rights owner of the college football playoff, but they are subleasing some games to TNT, which I'm pretty down for. TNT has got a stellar broadcast crew. You could have some combination of Kevin Harlan, Ian Eagle, depending on what their NFL assignments are. I don't know how all that will work, but TNT has got a really, really good broadcast crew, or they have several great broadcast crews, so not opposed. But first game, Friday, December 20th. The next games are Saturday, December 21st, and then you get to the quarterfinals, which are Tuesday, December 31st, and then Wednesday, January 1st, New Year's Day, a tradition. You will have 3 playoff quarterfinal games on New Year's Day. Nothing wrong with that. The Tuesday thing, it's a little bit odd. The semifinals on Thursday, January 9th. The semifinals will have the second game played on Friday the 10th. And the national championship Monday, January 20th. Now, the latter part of that schedule indicates a desire from television networks, most likely, to avoid going up against the NFL. And that's something that gets tossed around every now and then in the context of college football and scheduling. Do you want to battle the NFL? Here's what I want you to ask yourself. If you ever see a conflict, and the NFL is playing games that weekend when the first round playoff games are taking place, if there's ever a conflict between college football and the NFL, the college football postseason and the NFL regular season, just ask yourself this question, especially if you're listening to or watching this show. Which one are you going to watch? And are you going to be able to watch it? Those are the only questions that should cross your mind. Well, they might not get as big of a rating if they go up against the NFL. And, I mean, like, what? That doesn't impact me. That doesn't impact you. Yeah, I want the sport to be popular. You know what I've noticed? College football doesn't have a popularity problem. That's not among the top 5 issues facing college football. Not enough people watch. There isn't enough money going around. No, that's not a problem that college football has. There aren't enough fans. No, they don't have that problem either. Just because you're not the NFL television-wise doesn't mean you need to make changes to improve yourself. Well, because you're behind. No, the NFL is just a different entity. That's just the way it goes. Fan base is often a lot larger in the NFL. They're often in larger metropolitan areas, though not always, of course. That shouldn't be what college football is trying to compare itself to. You shouldn't try to be the NFL. Be the best version of college football, whatever that looks like. Does that mean playing games on Tuesday and Thursday and Friday? Not particularly to me. But am I going to watch? Yeah, of course. Of course, I'm going to be watching all of those games. So I like that the first round games are going to be on campuses, or campi, if you will. If you know, you know. But, something that I thought about is that the early signing window has been moved. They moved it to accommodate the 12-team playoff. You know what they should have done with the early signing window? Just gotten rid of it. Just said, you know what, let's toss that aside. Let's just not have this December recruiting period. But instead, despite college football, this is why I just get so frustrated with the leaders that are making decisions in college football. Instead of utilizing the expanded playoff as an opportunity to just have signing day be in, February in the off season, they said, no, why don't we move it up even sooner? And it'll be the week after the regular season ends, just before conference championship games. Do you realize the insanity that goes into preparing for a conference championship game and having to finalize your recruiting class? Thinking about how the offense you're facing next week for a chance to get an automatic berth and a bye in the college football playoff, how they're going to attack you and what your recruiting needs and roster desires are going to be for the following season. Doing that all in the same week, it doesn't make any sense. So many things about college football make very little sense. And as you can tell, especially my everydayers out there, who I very much appreciate, I love college football. I always have, I always will. Even if it is not the same as what it used to be, it obviously is not. I hope I don't have to explain that to you at this point. But when I look at these sorts of decisions, I'm just pulling out what little hair I actually keep on my head. Because I'm like, why? Think about it holistically. From a national standpoint, if you were trying to make college football more talked about, more discussed, grow the fan base, grow the interest, why would you jam off-season content into the middle of the season? There's a trade deadline in the NFL. The scale and importance and volume of moves made at a trade deadline in the professional leagues pale in comparison to an entire recruiting class. You're putting together almost an entire team's worth of guys. You're not adding 2 or 3 pieces to help you make a championship run. You're not making a trade for that relief pitcher who solidifies your bullpen, or going out to get a wide receiver to help your quarterback and you can make that push with him there and you're going to sign him to a deal. It's not like that. You're putting together so much time, effort, and energy, and you're making coaches whose staffs have grown as a product of this, I would hope, but still, I don't think it makes any sense. And if you're trying to maximize the attention, I see the numbers that this show does. It fluctuates throughout the year and depending on what's in the news cycle, but I know that recruiting, transfer portal, all of that stuff draws interest, draws intrigue. And yet, they're just passing on that opportunity. And even think about the transfer portal. Because if you want to make the argument, well, it's 2025 kids, they're not making an impact now on the roster. Like, you can think about it, you can separate. Okay. How about the national signing day and then the transfer portal window opening amidst the playoff run? Remember what happened? It didn't happen, thank goodness, because you don't wish injuries upon any player, of course. But Malik Murphy was the backup quarterback at Texas. When Quinn Ewers got hurt, he came in and started multiple games and won them for the Longhorns. They were playing in the national semifinal against Washington, and Arch Manning was their backup because Malik Murphy had transferred. Because if he didn't capitalize on an opportunity to go start at Duke, who I was talking about recently on the show, go check out yesterday's episode if you're interested. If he didn't capitalize on that opportunity there, he might not have been afforded that at all. So it's not great for coaches. It's not great for players. It's not great for fans. And it's not great for people who cover the sport because you're talking about things because they are newsworthy during a time in which they should not be a focal point of the news. So college football continues to baffle me with the scheduling decisions they make. I think home playoff games are going to be electric. Not going to argue that point. But still, we just keep moving through college football, and the calendar makes less and less sense all the time. If I sound like old man yelling at the sky, sue me. That's the way I feel. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time, and until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. This episode is brought to you by our friends at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers.